Thank you for visiting the Africa Rising Cycling Podcast, where we share the big and most interesting cycling stories from across the continent of Africa and from around the world where African cyclists are racing and riding.
Today we're chatting with two African male riders who'll be racing at the Pro Continental level in 2026 for the Modern Adventure Pro Cycling Team. They're both South African. Welcome to Stefan and Byron Munton to the podcast.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you very much.
It's obviously a new team. How did it feel for each of you to get the call from George Hincapie to say you're racing for Modern Adventure 2026?
Yeah, I think that was quite a surreal experience having Big George, calling us. And then by chance, like Stefan and I landing up in the same team, which was pretty amazing. A bit of a coincidence, but really happy it's happened.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for me, when the first time I heard of the project was quite early on, and I wasn't really sure if it is just rumors or is it really happening. And then later on, I got more rumors that it's actually happening. And then I had people contacting me like Alex House and Joey, telling me about the team, and it was really, really early. And then they started asking me if I'm interested to join the team. And of course, it's with this project. I think it's it's a really interesting project, and we are both super grateful to be proud to be part of that. It worked out well. We didn't expect to be teammates, but first time for us to be teammates, and it's cool to have two South Africans in the team.
Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't know it was a coincidence. It's always nice to have friends on the team, for sure. I mean, the team is obviously completely new. 21 riders. You have 12 Americans, then 9 riders from the rest of the world. You guys representing South Africa and Africa, obviously, as well. How is the atmosphere with the riders and the staff being so new?
I think basically the whole team is it's a new structure. Besides the head, the managers, everyone from sports directors down are new in this role. There are a few riders like Stefan who have a bit more experience, but besides that, Joey, Ty, Alex, the sports directors, it's a new role for them. And then for myself and 80% of the other riders, it's all our first year as a professional, as professional riders. So it's just really a really cool atmosphere to be a part of.
Yeah, it's a pretty young team. The average age of the team is really young. I'm one of the oldest riders, and I'm only 29. So to be one of the oldest riders is also new for me because it feels strange. It feels like 2-3 years ago where I was the youngest rider at the team. But that with the young guys, it makes it obviously a lot more fun, and it feels less serious, although it's still professional. Everyone is professional, but because everyone is young, we have a lot of laughs at the dinner table. So we met everyone in December camp in South Carolina, in Greenville, and really light atmosphere. Everyone is excited about the year ahead. So I think it's a bit different than what I'm used to in terms of the World Tour teams, and also different than the Continental team from last year. So it's nice to have that middle point of joy and also focus to have a successful season.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've still got a good few years left. I was looking on pro cycling stats earlier. This is your 11th year as a pro, Stefan. Obviously, your contract's running till the end of 2027 as well. What are your goals? You've obviously, as you say, you've been in the World Tour, you've been in Pro Conti. What are your goals for this season?
I think the goals for the team is again, it's a bit different than the World Tour. When I was in the World Tour team, for the last few years of my career, I want to focus on myself and my own results firstly before I focus on anything else. So the focus would be to get my own results and GC and some Healy races and time trials. So that's the goals. We don't know. We don't have a fixed calendar to see ahead with 1 year ahead. So we take it race by race. yeah, firstly, I want to do my own results, and I have the freedom to do that in this team for the next 2 years. And then, of course, if there's stages that doesn't suit me, like sprint stages or where I'm out of GC or not going well, then I have some teammates that is better than expected. Actually, I trained a little bit with them, and I've seen some of the numbers, and I've heard about them, and then I saw the results, and I didn't really know the team was. I didn't know we had, and yeah, it looks like we have a strong team, even to start with. So I'm excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Byron, for you, I mean, this is your 6th year racing, on contract as a pro, but it's your first year at Pro Continental level. How does that feel, and how are you preparing differently?
Yeah, it's. I don't want to say like it's. How can I say? It's obviously I've always known that I've had the capability of being there, but yeah, to actually now be in the position to do this is just a really nice feeling. And yeah, now it's all about going to the first races of the season and seeing where I fit in, and what I need to do to be at the top level, and fall in what role of the team what they expect of me.
You got a good big brother with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, Stefan and I go back quite a long time, from nationals in 2015. Oh no, sorry, 2016. It was my first national championships, and I watched Stefan finish second in the road race overall, and first under 23, and won the under 23 time trial. So being able to ride with my idol of then, and now being able to call him a teammate is pretty cool.
Fantastic. So, hey, nationals, were you guys go this year? Sorry, Stefan, will you go to nationals in SA?
Yeah, we're preparing for nationals now. I've been in Clarence in the Free State. And then, but first, before nationals, we're going to Alula tour in Saudi Arabia, and then come back 2 or 3 days before nationals, and then we off to UAE tour and Europe. So but the last thing I wanted to say also with me and Byron, I think there's a lot of people who thinks it's coincidence, like it just turns out that we are teammates now and we are 2 South Africans, but there's no there was no connection for us, the 2 of us, when we signed the contracts in this team. I signed pretty early on already, I think in May or June, and then obviously Byron won a stage in Volta, Portugal. He got third in GC, and only after that results, then he only got the contract. So it's not, I had nothing to do with it, and he fully worked for it himself. So it's not like for me, it was a surprise when they called me up and they asked me, do you know this guy? And I said, yes, of course I know him. And as he won a stage in Volta, Portugal, it says enough. So we get the question quite often that we are teammates, 2 South Africans, but that it was pretty individual to get them to get this contract.
That's wonderful to hear. That follows up nicely to a question I was going to ask you both, because we've been working, African Rising Cycling has been working for 20 years. In 2026, it's our 20th anniversary, and there's been riders from Africa in the pro peloton that entire period. Obviously, Biniam Gamay, Kim LaCourt have been making some pretty big headlines the last couple of years. As Africans, do you feel you now belong in the pro cycling peloton? Is it no longer sort of a surprise to see Africans in these races with you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel I belong in the pro peloton, and we also, both of us, we want to make a statement this year to show that we belong there, and showing that we belong in a pro team doing pro races and world tour races, because that's where we belong. And yes, of course, to see Kim LaCourt, Biniam Girmay, and even Ellen Atterley, mountain bike world champion, those guys and girls perform at the highest level in cycling. But in the end of the day, us all the African talent, you still have to do it yourself. You can't say that you know someone that's amazing and you also want to get there. You have to get results and you have to get there yourself. I get phone calls very often asking, can I get them into a team from someone who I don't know? And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You can't make a phone call and get into a pro team or a big team. It's just you have to have results, and that's the tough part for Africans, is to get the opportunity to deliver the results, because it's not always possible for everyone to get to Europe, because it's super expensive. And then the second thing is to actually get a team to get into races. That's another obstacle. So yeah, that's the difficult part in terms of how you get into a continental team or pro continental team or even a world tour team. Is you have to get results, and the pathway there is not easy. And I think I had a bit of an easier pathway coming through Dimension Data when we still had the continental team. But I mean, Byron, if you hear some serious stories, it can go for a full podcast, the way he went into to come where he is today. So, but yeah, that's a podcast on its own.
We'll have to follow up on that, Byron.
We can do. Yeah, I would also like to just say, like, it's trying to separate like all the countries and everything. It's like, once you're in Europe and you've been there long enough, you kind of don't associate yourself as an African rider, a European American. You kind of just become part of the pro cycling scene. So it's more about just getting riders there and letting them have the time to develop and get into that scene. And everything else will kind of follow. The longer you spend there, the more chance you've got of getting something out of it.
Absolutely. It's funny, actually, this year we've been saying to people more, we need to slightly calm down the messaging around Africa and Europe and things like this. Like it's international pro cycling that people want to be in. I mean, on that point, I mean, right now for 2026, there'll be about a dozen Africans at the World Tour and Pro Conti level, men and women. But there are over 100 more Africans at the continental level in 2025, and we hope similar numbers for 2026. What kind of advice would you give these guys that are at the continental level at the moment and want to step up, or the riders that are sort of knocking on the door of the continental level? What do they need to do to have the best shot?
I think I mean it's difficult if you have a team and you have a club team, or you're maybe already in a continental team, or you race for a national team like Team South Africa or Team Eritrea or Team Morocco, wherever you come from. I think you have to use the races and the platform that you have to perform and get results. And if that means you get 1 result or 10 results, that's out of your control. You need to make sure you get that 1 result in the race if there's only 1 race. And if you get the results, that's how you get into a team. I mean, I think you were there this year when I was in Turkey. I didn't hang around to wait and to see what happens. I just tried to win the race, and I managed to do so. And I mean, that win, any win makes a big difference. It doesn't matter on what level it is. I would say I try everything to get into races, and start with small races, go up bigger races. And then every race you do, you have to get the best possible result. And then hopefully a continental team or pro team sees you. And then again, that's out of your control. You can't control who sees you or not, but you can control what you do in the race and with your performance.
Absolutely. Byron, anything to add?
I'd say also just like, I've made the mistake in the past of going to races that I didn't think suited me, and having races further on in the calendar where I was like, I want to target that race. But as a continental rider, you don't get as many races as you would in a bigger team. So you have to just go to every race trying to get a result, because it's you don't have many opportunities, and you need to make the most of each race.
Absolutely. I was talking to the guys that have set up the Shinolo team that have just gone continental level back home in South Africa.
Yeah.
There'll be 7 Conti teams now from Africa in 2026. So the number is increasing for sure. So there are more opportunities. But as you say, there's a lot of continental teams. I've seen 4 Eritreans have just joined the Istanbul team at the continental level. So there are many options, like you say. We even talk to people about some of the basics of things like having your photograph on your pro cycling stats bio, having your links to Training Peaks and Strava. Even this is something that a lot of the riders don't do, and we always talk about that with riders at races. So we're going to switch to something else. Byron, this is for you. Beyond your personal success, you ride for a very different purpose as well. It's actually just a couple of days since it's the 2 years since your sister's accident, while she was out training for the South African Nationals. If it's okay, can you share with our listeners what happened, how she is now, and importantly, what people can do to help?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's actually this time of the year is quite a tough period. It was generally December, January. Normally my family and I would go on vacation, and well, not really vacation, but kind of a training camp, and try and enjoy the time together. So I'd always be out riding with my sister, preparing for the national championships. But in January of 2024, on the 14th, she was out training with a few friends, and got hit from behind by a intoxicated driver. She spent just over a month in the ICU, which then led to being 8 months in a coma. First, she was in an induced coma, but she never really came out of the induced coma until 8 months later. From there, she was transferred to Spain, to a neuro rehabilitation center there. We were planning on emigrating to Spain before the accident had happened, so that move was planned. But in hindsight, the move did help, because the care in Spain is better for her current situation. And as of current, she's still fully bedridden. She is able to communicate in small ways with just if she's uncomfortable, she'll make noises. She can make a few communications with her eyes. And a few weeks ago, she actually got a eye tracking device, which she's learning to use. So, it's been quite a tough road for all of us, but especially her. She hasn't given up the fight, and continues to show that they do.
Thank you. I know it's hard to talk about. What can people do to support her?
The biggest thing is just sharing her story. The more that it's shared, the more chances, the possibility of someone seeing her story and being able to potentially assist. And then we do have a Instagram page called Jesse's Recovery, which tracks her weekly or monthly updates, and on there we have a Back a Buddy and GoFundMe donation pages. And we've actually just started something which my aunt did, where we basically asking for every coffee you have, you make an extra donation, extra coffee, which goes to Jesse's Recovery.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll put links to all of this in the podcast bio when we publish the podcast.
Really,
look, guys, it's morning time there. I'm sure you guys have got training to do. So thanks so much for your time. We hope to see you at the Aluya Do Well, and obviously nationals as well. First modern adventure South African national champ jersey would be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, we are really excited. We can't wait to pin up the numbers.
Wonderful. Well, look, thanks for your time today, guys, and we'll see you at the races soon.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Good one. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Africa Rising Cycling Podcast. Please do keep an eye on all our Africa Rising Cycling social media channels for more news and stories, and we look forward to welcoming you back for another episode very soon.